here we are.
Awesome, buddy.
Pretty cool,
Hey,
eh?
that's
Made
awesome.
Made it to Costa Rica. It's still
Just like
daylight.
that.
It must be
Yep.
dark though, isn't it?
Getting there. We're 4 o'clock now.
Oh, right. It's only 4. That's right.
So, yeah, 6 o'clock, it gets dark here pretty quick. So,
Leslie's in the house doing the shares. We're all good to go.
awesome.
Show
buddy.
is on. I got friends from far and wide, and you got friends probably watching too.
Yep,
you
Lee's
can
just
have
getting
Lee-
it set up.
She yeah. If you see it on Facebook, that should be able to find it from there. She can share it to your people too.
Perfect, man.
And yeah, so I'm still locked down. You were out for a little while, and then you got locked back down or something. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, we opened up. Well, I wouldn't say we opened up. Easter here in Costa Rica is huge.
Right.
Oh man, I forget what it's called.
Actually, Easter's huge through all the Caribbean.
Yes. So yeah, everybody was playing. Everybody was doing their stuff, and as predicted, about 2 weeks after that, things started escalating, and they did shut us down. Some guys are still getting a solo act, pretty much. I would
Isn't
say
it
most
funny?
solo acts. Yeah.
You're 4,000 kilometers away
Yep.
and going through exactly the same thing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's like
You know what though? I mean, it is what
exactly
it
the
is.
same.
I'm in a
protocol.
position. Yep. I'm in a position where I'm at risk. So
Yeah.
I was doing the jam. I did a jam night here right on the beach at a beautiful bar called Bar Holus. Hoot hoot. Hopefully
That's right.
Lee. Yep. And it's a beautiful place right on the water. And I was asked to do that. And man, I'm so grateful to be able to do that. I think we got 6 weeks in and then we shut her down again. So hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
I promise. Look, it's amazing how it's almost exactly the same. I got to put my sunglasses on. My eyes bother me.
Right.
Yeah, I get this eye here. I can't. But
Yeah.
anyway, and I got these lights on my face. Anyway, no. Yeah, we did about the same thing. It's January. It opened up. We did about like a month, 6 or 7, 8 weeks. Just after Easter, boom, blew up, just
Yep.
like it did down there. Shut her all back down, and this was the hardest one because we're just starting to get patio entertainment going again.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I really haven't even done my first show yet.
Right.
I got one this weekend. I'm doing a campground Saturday night,
Right.
which will be kind of fun. It's I'm rehearsing. We're allowed to rehearse,
Right.
so
You're
I'm rehearsing
at
on
the
a patio deck. Yeah, with around a bunch of cottages where everybody else is going to be on there. They have their own personal little dance floor spaces on their cottages. So
There you go. Yep.
I'm bringing a speaker so that they can hear me rehearsing down the other cottages.
Right. Well, you got to make sure your equipment's still in
That's
top.
right. Yeah, and I'm going to I'm
functioning
bringing
order.
a couple lights so that they might be able to see me, from their
Right.
cottage as well, right?
Right.
And that
right.
was arranged by Absolute Travel. It's her little
That's cool.
brainchild. So it's a gig, but it's we're being creative and trying to be safe and doing
Yes.
not break any rules. And
I mean,
I
I
guess
think-
you're looking for a loophole, but it's not really a loophole, I don't think.
Yep. You know what? I'm in a position. I am so when I have the option to play music down here in Costa Rica is just everywhere.
I know.
Man, there must be just in our little town now, even since COVID. Oh my God, 30 acts in town here. Got to be that.
Are they local or are they expats? Like
There's
yourself?
a mix. Yeah, there's a mix. There's a lot of local talent for sure. Holy
I know
jeez, some of the guys.
Zoe's back.
Yep.
She was back playing. I saw some of her postings.
Yep.
Do you have
Alex
a gig with her?
Yeah, we did a couple of jams. She comes to the jam. Pre-pandemic, she would come out to the jam. We
How
did
long
a
has she
couple
been
of.
going down there? Sorry.
I'm
long
not
as you've
actually
been
sure.
as
For
long as
sure,
you've been
4 years. I'm thinking she's got to be 6, 7. She was well established before I got here. Yeah. So, yep.
That's
Yeah,
great. It's such a small little town. For people who don't really know, we have a lot of friends that are. We're putting our next group to come back down, of course. But
Right.
I explained to people who haven't been there. I guess it's our equivalent of. It would be like Hubbard's going down to Hubbard's for the week, and suspiciously enough, half of Hubbard spends their winters in Tamarindo.
Right. Right.
So I'm just
Right.
saying, right? But
Yeah.
anyway, and they got the blues festival down there. Have you ever
Yes.
gone to that?
I have not gone. Nope.
No,
I've been to some blues festivals, but not down here. not down here.
Well,
I'm
when
not
we were
sure. It sort of looked like it was, and I don't want to say it wasn't. It didn't seem as maybe 2-3 years ago. There seemed to be a lot of musicians floating around, and last year in February there didn't seem to be when it was on. I think it was middle February, and I could be totally
while we
wrong.
were there. While
Yeah,
we were there, and
yeah,
actually, that's why Frank wasn't in the bar. He was at the Blues Festival.
right.
I was trying to arrange to get to the Blues Festival till just the logistics got too crazy.
It,
And the other problem is too, Brian. We were there for a week.
you're
You know
there
what I
for a
mean?
week, and you want to enjoy
I
what
need a
you're coming
month.
to see.
You need a
Yeah,
month to do all that stuff, right? So
absolutely.
I don't
Yep.
know if I'm going to get there any longer. We're coming down in an all. We're doing it differently this year. We're not going rogue like we did last time.
Right.
We're going to go back to the resort up the road because it's only $5 by cab.
Right.
And we're just trying to stay safe because after the pandemic, you don't know how many flights are going to get canceled. It's going to be crazy people traveling.
Yes.
Yeah, at the best of times, there's connecting flights, and it's a long way from Halifax. It's not straight out of Halifax. And we thought, you know what? Let's just do the safe route, pay a little extra, be spoiled a little bit too. We can take a
Yep.
night or two at the resort.
They look after you there for sure.
And
Yep.
that way,
Yep.
some of the people who've never gone away with us before that are nervous about going there for the first
Right.
time, they know that it's a guaranteed thing. With
You can
it's,
stay on the beach right there. You don't even have to go if you don't
well,
want to.
it's that, and let's say something does happen, right? I mean, there is some guarantees. Like when you're on your own, like a lot can go wrong, and there's no one to, there's nothing doesn't fall back on anyone but ourselves. So,
Yep. Yep.
because it's I can't wait, Brian. I just miss the place so much. We dream about it every day.
Yep.
And and I'll play the song. I wrote a song. You've heard me play it. Actually, we
Yep.
had you working on a bit of it. We still
Yep.
haven't. We have never recorded formally. It's just been on just on the acoustic.
I'm still struggling with bringing something into my system. I have everything timed, right? Like all my
It's all it's in grid. I'm starting to learn how to do that.
yeah, it's very complicated for me, anyways. And then
Well, you work with MIDI too, right?
yes, I use MIDI instruments, but yeah, everything. So every delay, every reverb tail, all ends on a time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to sync that up. I don't know why.
I know I want to get on playing some music soon, but one thing I noticed from keeping up with you after we came back, because we came back and the pandemic started as soon as we got home.
I think you guys left it here. Thanks. You know
Well, I
what?
think Tracy got really sick down there. I don't know if it was already down there when we were there. I don't know.
I think Lee and I have to tell you, well, you were
sick
here.
when we were there. Yes, you guys were really sick too.
You saw me one show, and then
That's right.
I think you came to the jam. I was starting to feel it at one of the jams. And then
Tracy could hardly breathe before we left.
yeah.
She was really, really, she was worried. Yeah.
I
So who
mean,
knows?
everything that they talked about, we're like, yeah, we had that. Yeah,
We
we had
figured
that.
we might have had it, once down.
I'm
I don't
hopeful
know.
that's, and it's over and we're done with it. But I got my first shot vaccine.
Yeah, I got
here,
one too.
so-
Yeah, see, like that's the thing. We're all like you said. You're in Central America.
Yep.
People think people who've never gone to Central America or be outside of like Jamaica or someplace like that. Like a lot of people where they travel, they go to the Caribbean, they go to Cuba or Dominican. Well,
Yes.
the thing is about Costa Rica is so much different. I mean, it's got the same weather. It's warm and hot, and the sun's
Yes.
shining at the ocean, and I mean,
Yep.
you got the Pacific and the Atlantic in Costa Rica. We're on the
Yep.
Pacific side here.
Yes, we
But
are. Yeah.
but the funny thing about it is that just the whole vibe about the country is not the same. It's very much it feels Canadian, just warm.
People are so kind. They're, now that I've been more isolated, my Spanish kind of slipped out
That's good.
with my earwax. No,
Oh, I mean you the other way. I mean you're
yeah, I
stuck home.
lost some of it. I should have been doing some online courses, but no, the people here have been so fantastic. You come in and they're just like, now it's like, Brian, and
We found you
that-
guys by accident.
yeah, we found this place by accident. I don't know if my buddy Bruce is watching yet or not. I don't have any feeds of Facebook. I can't concentrate with that all popping up, but
Lee
probably
can do all that for you. She can in the other room.
Probably
she can do all
about-
the messaging.
yeah, about 12 years ago, we moved into our house in Wasaga Beach, Ontario. And real estate guys like Bruce Johnson, wonderful guy, finally found the right house for us. We were pretty picky, but he's like, so this is your last house, and we're like, yeah. Well, Yeah, but well, unless you find us a place that's really hot. And I'm not joking. We never even thought about Costa Rica at all. He's like, well, maybe you should look at Costa Rica. And I'm seriously, Lee was on the internet that night.
Well,
We
the
had
economy's
signed
the
for our
same.
house.
The economy is the same. Costs the same out there for a pint of beer as it does in Canada. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The meal costs about the same. Probably very, very similar. You know, you don't. You know, I found it very comparable. Money goes about the same distance in some
Sort of, kind of,
respects. In some
sort of,
things,
kind of. Yeah, no.
I'm sure. I know cars are expensive, and buying a laptop computer is going to have expensive and stuff like that. But
They have to import stuff in for sure. And I know they're doing that. I think that's legit now. They're opening up,
real
trying
estate,
to.
it seemed about the same.
Well, maybe out east in Ontario, real estate is like our old house we sold is over 600.
Yeah,
We
but
sold it for
I live in
maybe
Nova Scotia,
yeah,
and it's going
yeah,
up here too now, right? But
yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, and but again, this town since I've been here in 4 years, honest to God, there's got to be 30, 40 houses have gone up.
like built, like new
Yes,
building. Yeah, that's the same thing.
yes,
It's a building boom here. There's like 30 cranes in the
yeah,
city, and everybody's
yeah,
building. I mean, like I bought some lumber today. You saw the post.
yep,
I bought 8 little pieces of strapping to trim out my garage door,
yeah,
and it was $50. You know what I mean? It should
yep,
have been about 18.
yes,
You know, so
yes,
it's
yes,
and that's happening everywhere. So I mean, it's
yeah,
just what blows my mind is that, like I said, we're thousands of kilometers apart, and we could just be literally the next town away. We're all experiencing the exact same things. You know what I mean?
yes,
And all I
yes,
want before the pandemic started, like when I compare like our economy and our lifestyle and how you live, that's when I found it very much the same. So
yes,
I'm sure when we go back, it won't be like it was, but it isn't like it that here either. So,
right,
you know, so whatever inflationary measures have happened, it's a global thing anyway. So
yep,
we're
yep.
all adjusting accordingly. And, you know,
It's true.
I just don't want little Samara to grow any too bigger than it was
It's getting
last time we
it's
saw it.
getting a lot busier. I'll say that for
Yeah.
sure. But I have to say, like when we first, I can't even remember the first time we walked down the beach. We stayed at Phoenix on the beach, just outside of town, not quite as far over as the hotel you're at, but we could walk into town,
Yeah.
and we felt safe. No matter where
Absolutely.
we walked, people would wave and welcome you. They didn't
We
know me
walked.
then. It was so wonderful. Yep.
We were walking
It
back from
still
the
is.
steakhouse that
Yep.
night. You couldn't go. You were sick.
Yep. Yep.
And we had a wonderful. We called it the Last Supper. We even took Dan from the hotel there. We bought, we took him out to supper,
Yep.
and I mean, we just fell in love with the people and the town, right?
Yep.
So we
Yep.
went there, and we were walking back. We went down through by the campground, down off to the
Yep.
side that goes down there, and down along the beach. Total darkness. I mean, there's
Yep.
people, there's locals. And we never thought for a second, that
No.
anybody was out to harm us or anything. I was
No.
like, I felt safer there than I did anywhere. I can go places not too far from here, and I wouldn't do that.
Yep. For
So
sure.
I'm not
I
saying everybody. I mean, I know San Jose's got a bit of a bad rap, and it's a big city. How many people live in San Jose?
I want to say like the whole country is roughly 5 million, maybe just
Yeah.
over.
So about a
I'm
quarter of
gonna
that is in
think
San
San
Jose.
more than
More
I'm
than.
thinking three quarters, maybe
Wow.
60%
Yeah.
of it.
So
Yeah,
it's a
something like
big, it's
that.
a big, it's a big city with
Yeah.
with all the same problems that all other big cities have.
Yeah, and they got a music store. Shout out to my buddy David.
Right
Uh,
on. You don't go to
at
San Jose to get your stuff, do you?
Guitarist 357 repaired my Ibanez that was probably should have been put to pasture, but it just had too many shows. I
You have to
couldn't
go
let
all
it
the way
go.
to San Jose to get that done.
Well, not anymore because it did take a while to get the guitar repaired, and in that time frame, I learned myself to do a lot of
Yeah,
stuff. So
self-reliant.
I
Yeah.
can do fret work now, which I never even dreamed
Cool.
of doing.
Well, that's neat.
So yeah.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
you get really worried about your equipment. I know when we were there, I forget who it was. He was because the blues festival, the keyboard player was coming through, the guy from
Yes.
Texas,
Yeah.
and he wanted to use your piano, and you were very nervous because he's a
He
heavy
hammers.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're thinking, look, if anything happens to that, like, it's not like I go down along McQuaid,
Yes.
and get a new
Yes.
piece or a button or
It-
something
it-
like it. Yeah.
That piano cost me $3,500 US to get it here, and
Yeah.
along McQuaid they're like, I don't know, $1,800, $2,000, a lot of
Right.
money, and it stays in the studio.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
blame
play
you,
my
though.
piano. Yep.
It's
Yep.
just, it's really tough. It's not even like it's not the value of stuff as much as it is
Not having it.
it's the
Yeah,
fact that
with it being
like
gone.
you just can't go get another one tomorrow.
Right.
We're spoiled. I mean, I'm spoiled about that. And those are
Yep.
the things. I mean, you knew that going into it, moving down
Yes.
there.
Yep.
And you learned. You probably knew what gear to take with you.
I
You've
took
always said
pretty
that
much.
your Ibanez's are really good in the climate.
They've done pretty well. Yeah. I mean, what happened to my old one, I would say was just wear and tear. And then actually I learned something in my guitar training, how to fix stuff that I pretty much caused the damage to the bridge. So
Well,
anyways,
that's all it is.
I learned.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking, getting on the music thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic started, when we got back,
Yep.
and I think we were, I've been following them on your face group, and we message back and forth. But I noticed that you've been doing a lot of writing, and the writing that you've been doing, all these instrumentals, you've been popping them out in Reverb Nation and stuff like, or Reverb Nation and whatnot. But
Yep.
you, have you always written songs and not, pumping them out like that?
I gotta say, I'm trying to think when I first started writing. I got a 4-track unit. Like I always felt I couldn't concentrate on doing the next piece well without finishing. Like if I was doing an acoustic guitar track, I couldn't focus on something else unless that was done. Right?
Good.
And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I got that down, but it's missing something. Where's the drums? And so I started way back then with some drum machines and.
Because I admire your tenacity. Like you, I mean, I've been writing quite a bit in the last year. I got a few songs out, but life still gets in the way, even though there's a pandemic going on.
Same here. You know what? I get my moments where I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to go in the studio at all.
Yeah.
And, I was fortunate.
You're
25.
retired now, right?
Yeah. I stopped working. We were so fortunate. A window opened up and we just said, we can, like my wife, I don't know if you can see the artwork completely in the back there, but that's like another piece she's done during lockdown.
Wow.
She's
So
working on
too.
paint, and I'm
Yeah.
writing stuff and
We got that one home in one piece.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
we fit. We never got it's we got that up one. That was wonderful. She's a wonderful artist. What a great lifestyle. You moved from Canada, live on the beach in Costa Rica. You get to play music on the beach, and she gets to paint pictures. And she has a beautiful studio you built, or your little off the living room. Anybody that goes down there, houses are a little different. It's modern and beautiful. You got lots of ceramic tile and all that, but everything is about the humidity down there.
Yes.
And air flowing through. Like you don't have to worry about air conditioning or central heating, or air conditioning you do, but central heating isn't something you need to consider. Like
No,
it's not
no
like
gas.
your walls don't have fiberglass pink in them.
Nope. They're concrete. They're cement block walls, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's what
and
you have
it's
on your wall.
beautiful, but it's
Yep.
it's nice. And it's and you're in the rain season right now, or starting.
We're in the deep. I was glad it wasn't last night about 4 a.m. Oh my!
It's coming down.
She came down for about 3 hours solid.
Because when we first came down, it was October, and it rained every day.
Yeah.
Every day, and it rained hard every day, and we couldn't wait to come back.
Yeah. But to be
So we knew
honest,
something special there, right?
you know what? For me, I actually enjoy the rain season. When it's raining, obviously you're limited. You might lose a gig or two. If you're playing on the beach, you're probably not going to have a paid night.
People think
But-
like going somewhere like that where it's raining. They think, oh man, what a waste of a vacation! All that money going when it rains. It's a different kind of rain, brother.
But when it clears up, you wouldn't even know it rained. Other than everything's perfectly green and beautiful. Yeah, we just had a guy working around doing some work on the house. I said, I need to cut all my flowers and stuff, all my plants, bougainvilleas and whatnot. Lee says, don't touch it. Your hands. I cut my hands. I don't know how many times
On plants.
on plants, and it's always on show night. I get excited on show night, and I want to do something, right? And it's like, you're not touching the plants. Go in your studio.
Any poisonous plants in your yard you got to worry about down there?
We don't have anything in here. Nope.
No.
Probably the frogs. Some of the frogs might be nasty ones. But
And of course you got some scorpions and you got some wandering spiders and stuff. I'm not trying to scare people away, but I never had any problem with any of that when we were there. And
we didn't have.
People
There's
say that.
definitely some nasty snakes around. We've seen some carcasses, but once they're dead, it's hard to tell what type.
I think the nastiest thing down there is the howler monkeys. They threw apple cores at Leslie.
Yeah, when they tell you it's time to wake up, they wake you up.
Yeah,
for sure.
they're
Man.
pretty nice.
So,
So watch it, people. So you're primarily you're an instrumentalist. I mean, you
Yep.
know that's your thing, and you play really cool stuff. And I recommend that people check out Reverb. But the Reverb Nation, you got is that primarily where you put your music?
I put everything there. It has got to Apple and stuff. I got to figure that out. There's a step I'm missing
Not even
because
there
it's
yet
not all.
myself.
It's not all like I do a release of a single song, and then it's just out there. But Apple's done this lovely thing,
Yeah.
where now you can make like a playlist. So
like
everybody,
Spotify?
anybody named, like 2 years ago, you put in Brian Reynolds, and there's my songs. Maybe there's another person, another artist, but now there's like 40 people that do playlists, so your song gets lost. I got to make my
I
own.
gotta
little,
hire somebody.
I got to figure that out. I just haven't done it.
I don't have a
Reverb
clue.
Nation, that's what it did for me. It's like click next. Yep.
Cool. I know you sound great.
Put a
And,
picture in. Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
nice
so
little
I-
studio there too.
So I do all my drumming. I do the piano playing, guitar, obviously. A couple I've sung. I don't like my voice singing, but Lee's done lyrics for quite a few songs. And
And
Yeah.
you do the odd gig down there, like duos with like what was the girl's name that we went down we used to see you one night. That wasn't Zoe.
she's moved away now. Jen. Yeah, she moved away.
That's what I mean. But you do that once in a while. And
Yeah.
our friend, the guy that plays the saxophone and harmonica,
Yeah, Jean
folks,
Paulo.
you got to hear that guy play harmonica, and he's
Yeah,
a
he
wicked
pl-
sax
he's-
player too.
He's on my site there a couple of weeks ago where when we were jamming.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal
Can we get
as
him
well.
in the band when we come back if he's
Yep.
around? Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just
we'll-
depends how busy he is. He
Yeah,
needs
well, I
money,
mean,
right?
it'll be a busy time of year though. We're coming in February, so
Yeah.
or
Yep.
January rather. So
Well,
it might
he
be
was working right out at your hotel there for a long
I
time.
know.
I
I
don't
saw
know if
him one
that's
night.
that's been off. I don't. I'm sure they'll fire that up once they know.
Oh
they
yeah.
got
Well,
people.
our plan right now is that we're hoping that because I know you guys may be a few months behind us in some ways, but we're getting ready to open, and it's only June.
Yeah.
We're talking. We're planning and putting a deposit down. Then we figure by January, with everybody getting vaccinated, it looks pretty good.
Yep.
That we'll get down there. And I can't imagine there's places in the world that have already opened up 100%. So
Yes.
you know it's going right. You
Yeah,
know, so.
people, and you know what? Like seriously, man, this I think they showed 2020 was like not even. I think they figured 70 some odd percent
Yep, that's what they're saying.
tourists was gone. So I mean it's hit everything here. So yep.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, I know you want company, and we want to
Yep.
visit.
Yep, for sure. Yeah,
So
we're
anyway, yeah.
yeah.
I'm
We're looking
glad.
forward. We've been on the beach a couple of times. We're still careful. Lee's
That
been
must have
fully
been
vet-
really tough. I know we got to go playing music, but I'll tell you that must have
Yeah.
been brutal. You uproot, you leave your wonderful, beautiful, because Canada's a beautiful country, especially in the
Yep.
summertime.
Yep.
And you go down there to live the Porta Vida life. And you
Yeah.
go down there, and you're not allowed to go to the beach.
Well, I'll tell you.
Oh my God, that must
I
have
mean,
been
again,
horrible.
we researched, and I say Lee researched this out a lot. Samara came up as like we have to hit that before we leave Costa Rica. We had never been to Costa Rica.
Right.
Came on holidays for 2 weeks, and on the second week we bought the house we're in, and we went back to Canada and had to do a whole bunch of business there to close up things and sell. And I had 2 days without a vehicle in my driveway.
Amazing. No,
Yeah, it was
it's
kinda
just life just go right along. And that's
But I gotta say, I haven't missed everything. Like we had internet here. The
your internet's better than our
realtor
internet.
Carly, she looked after us. We had internet the next day.
Your internet's fantastic. Just to give people an idea, like you go downtown Halifax, we have Wi-Fi zones in Halifax, but it's a growing city actually. Halifax has changed a lot in the last 10 years, but even still, you
Yep.
can walk around Halifax and not be able to get a Wi-Fi signal.
Right.
Pretty well everybody in the center, almost everybody in the center, can get a Wi-Fi signal anywhere. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like you got really good. You got good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they definitely they've put money into that for sure. We do have like poles getting hit by dump trucks and like
Yeah, wrecking it
outages.
up.
Like we've had some outages where if it happened, like somebody said theirs was out today, the other they have like the cable and then the phone.
But no, but you guys, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously you're
Anyways,
not a big metropolis like, the bigger cities, but
nope,
even the
nope.
countries with the population you have, but it's
Yeah, it took about. I guess
amazingly
it's
modern. Yeah, you guys don't feel like it's not. It's just as modern as here. Like it's just as everything is there.
Well, they recognize like people come here to work online.
Yeah,
They literally do whatever I don't know what they do for a job, and they come here and
we're working on that.
yeah, yeah,
We're working. It makes a longer vacation that way.
yes. Well, you can. Anyways, man. Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
play one of your tunes, man.
yeah.
Improvise.
So, okay, I'm gonna take you out of my ear though.
That's okay, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Reynolds.
Got to mute the mic. Yeah.
That was super cool, man. My God, man, those are I hear that music and I feel the beach. I feel it. Did you write that kind of music before you went to Costa Rica, or is that just kind of a vibe that you've got since you've been there?
It's funny you say that. we've moved a few times, different areas of Ontario just for work and stuff. And I have to say, there is a vibe. I get a definite vibe where I live. One town up in Aurelia, they had a huge festival up there. I should know what it's called. I forget. But it's all Celtic stuff, 3/4 time. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that stuff. I'm a rocker. And a couple of days walking around doing one of those festivals that just gets under your skin. And then I had, I don't know, probably 15, 20 songs, 3/4 time. I got some 6/8 stuff too, but whatever. Yeah, definitely there's a groove here for sure. And
'Cause it's not a reggae thing.
no,
If you go to different countries,
they do
if
have
you go
that.
to Cuba, they got, when you go to Cuba, you have that, definitely have that, there's a Cuban style.
Yeah.
You go to Jamaica and you get the reggae flair.
Yep.
Costa Rica or Dominican Republic is kind of somewhere in between those two. And then Costa Rica is so much more progressive sounding.
Yeah, they got some
Like
of
that, like what you
the
just did.
the Latin guy. Oh, I wouldn't say that's Latin.
No,
No,
but it's
some of their
progressive
material.
sounding. It's kind of like it's very progressive, and I noticed they're like that. They're
Yeah.
you see a lot of guys,
I always like to have. I've been on a kick lately of making my guitar solo less. Like usually that's like the high end of a song. This thing can happen, and all of a sudden, bam! Here comes the solo, and instead of bringing the song level up, I actually kind of tame it down a bit and just make the solo less. I mean, obviously it's instrumental, so you don't need more solo.
But I noticed that's true. But we went to supper at it was at the steakhouse. I saw him twice that week actually. We were playing at we went to steakhouse for supper, and the guy that was there playing. He was doing the same thing you do. And if you go to Mexico and places like that where you're eating supper and at a restaurant, and they'll have mariachi band, and the guys are and a wonton tomato and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
But you guys have these, like what you do. You got some compression and some distortion on your guitar, and you're doing these licks like Carlos Santana stuff,
Right.
and he's doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And he's got the little amp on a wheel. He comes in with his little mic stand kind of rig up, and he sets himself up in a corner, and he's wailing out on the guitar, and it's like very progressive and edgy like that, but it's really cool, and it's got this cool vibe, and you don't hear that in other countries, and it's just in that what I heard you play, it reminded me, it put me right back in that moment, right? So I don't know, maybe you don't realize it, but that's the kind of vibe that I mean,
it gets in your skin for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah, you
sure.
can't get away from it. And I'm not saying I want to be. That part of coming here was just to have a change of influence. I mean,
That's
for
right.
sure. In Canada, they were always rock bands. I had Tattoos and Whiskey. I played in there just before we left, actually, 2016-ish, I think. And
Was that when you
country.
moved there 2000.
Yeah, we moved here officially 17, but I think I stopped playing with Tattoos there. I can't even remember, but I'll say it was in 2016 anyways.
But I think you are definitely influenced by your surroundings.
Yep.
And when I write songs, whether it's with Randy or whoever I might co-write with, it just kind of sounds like it came from here somehow. I don't know, right?
Yep.
And I write ditties. I'm not ashamed to say that, actually. I just write them. Yeah. Might as well get over it. There's no more 33s. And no more going back to worn out memories. It's time to get over it. There's no more 33s and no more going back to how it used to be. How the times have passed, yeah, the days are come and gone. Seems like yesterday when I danced with those things on. Might as well get over it. There's no more 33s and no more going back to what they meant to me. It's time to get over it. There's no more 33s, and no more going back. They're only in my dreams. Should just let them go, yeah, they've gotten pretty beat. Had them on so long and now they're obsolete. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just can't understand why they're still so dear to me. No one really wants them when they're just the same as me. Yeah, might as well get over it. There's no more 33s, no more going back to worn out memories. It's time to get over it. There's no more 33s, no more going back to how it used to be. Man, they're only in my dreams. Well, they're only 33s.
Awesome, buddy.
Thank you.
That was
I wrote
cool.
that song on the beach at Hubbard's, actually. That's where I wrote that song. I was sitting at the beach when I wrote that. And it was about, actually, the segue was you're talking about your old faded jeans, and that's kind of what it's about. And it's also about records. It's also about LPs, so it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know. It's neat how, speaking of guitars, now I have, right here, I got this one here. It's a Mahogany Martin.
Yep.
And if I had known what I was going in for when I came down there last time, I would have taken this in the first place. First of all, I bought that little teeny Yamaha because it was a good travel size.
Yes.
And I thought it would fit in the overhead bin, but a full case would have fit. I found that out later. And, and mahogany really holds up well in the humidity.
Right.
It would be that's why you see the Hawaiian ukuleles are all made of mahogany, and boats are made of mahogany or teak because it's a very good wood to deal with because the humidity down there is actually brutal. And Craig brought his little Martin down there, that new Martin that he had. Yep. And by the end of the week, it was buzzing, and it took a couple weeks for it to stop buzzing after he got it back home. So, and besides, that little Yamaha had a passive pickup in it, and it wouldn't work in any of your gear. Remember, it wouldn't work. We had to use we had the old Ovation down there. Yes,
I didn't have a DI.
Yes.
I still remember it sitting in my stepson's garage. It's sitting in the bottom drawer. I don't know if it's still there, but I left that. I'm like, I don't need a DI. I got a digital mixer. It's perfect now. So, my digital mixer fried with some of the electrical outages. The
humidity
here,
is brutal, man. It is really humid. It's funny, like we all complain about the humidity when we're home, a heat wave here, right?
Yeah.
But I never heard anybody complain about the humidity for a second when they were going through it in Costa Rica. It's just like
you get used to you definitely get used to it, and definitely when I'm playing my show, I'll have a couple of beers. Yeah. But I have a hydrating drink because I sweat when I'm doing the jam. Man, we're there 4 hours.
Guitars too, right? It's hard on guitars.
Yeah.
But but the guitar, like for example, if that's the guitar I'm thinking of, that doesn't leave that room, does it?
This one doesn't. No, this acoustic. Where am I here?
Yeah, you can't.
Livry, I bought this from somebody that was moving away. It's a beautiful guitar. It's actually a bit smaller.
A little double O or something. Yeah.
They call it a studio guitar. It doesn't even have a strap. Strap hooks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still on distortion, but
I don't know what. Oh, that sounds great. But yeah, that's the thing. You gotta think of that stuff when you're down there. The humidity is brutal. Yeah. I mean, you said a couple times we've been talking about. You're talking about your guitars. Your Ibanez guitars have seemed to survive the Porta Vida humidity or something. But you have instruments that never leave that room for the exact same reason.
I mean, the new one I bought a new Ibanez it's a very nice guitar. It'll never leave my studio. I have two ones I can use live. They're like $400, so like whatever. If they, not that I want them to get broke, but if they do, I'm not going to feel
Yeah,
You know,
like
I'm not gonna cry.
I'm not gonna bring this Gibson down there. I just won't. You know what I
Don't
mean?
do that. No.
But I'll bring the Mahogany Martin down there. I think
Yep.
we'll be fine.
I
And
mean, I have my Martin. It's an '01, whatever
yeah, but
the
it's a spruce
cheapest.
top, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and
No, leave it in the room. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
done. No, but that's what I take out to shows for
Oh, it's
people to
old.
play.
It's
It's
done
done.
now.
I'm not worrying about it. And my next lesson is how to intonate an acoustic guitar because I
Right.
don't know how. But that's on my list. But yep,
Get yourself a little grinding wheel and
yeah.
get your little glasses on.
But yeah, I was fortunate to pick up something here. I mean, again, in San Jose, there's some pretty high-end music stores around. They do have some good, really nice guitars.
Yeah. But
But
you have what's the in Nicoya? There's nothing up there.
there's a smaller store, Fresa Music, but they don't have like a $2,000 guitar. They don't
Right.
have, you know,
Yeah, they got the
they
budget.
they don't have a lot of stuff. And I think even in San Jose, I think a few of those guys had to take a step back on stock
Has Amazon got down there yet?
There's little hints of it, but again,
Yeah, that'll change. Maybe you might want it. Maybe it'll change the world too much for you. I don't know. But Amazon, once you get Amazon, you get anything you need. Then
yeah, I mean, we have a way of getting some stuff in. It costs,
Me?
you're into
I see you in
30,
January. I'll load
yeah,
up.
you're into 30-40%,
Yeah,
duty and tax, whatever stuff.
for sure.
But yeah, people come in, they bring stuff. If
Yeah. I'll bring you a care package. Yeah, I mean, I know
Yep.
what elixir strings are, and that kind of
Yep.
stuff, right? They fit in my.
well, you
guitar
know
case.
what? I do that for some of the guys around town.
Yeah.
I mean, they just the one guy.
Yeah,
he
well, I'll
never,
give you a heads up when we come
He
down.
never
we'll-
used elixir strings, and I'm like, just put a set on. Don't
Yeah.
don't spend $10 on the cheapest ones you can find. Try these. Okay.
That's got some beautiful ring to it, man. That's a beautiful.
Just
song.
a little riff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, repetitive. Sometimes, a song can just be the same all the
So
way
you-
through, just with
so
different.
When you're gigging down there,
Yeah.
and you're playing, do you ever take the acoustic to the gigs, or is it always just the electric?
For my solo act, I just do the electric. I can actually do an acoustic sound with my electric, so I just
Right.
kind of do that.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't always use the backtracks. I would say that's probably 95% of my show,
Okay.
and then I might do something else. But
Yeah, that's
but
great.
the jam, who knows? The jam is just
So let's talk about the jam a little bit. So when we first got there last year, we brought the crew, and you didn't know who we were. You heard we were coming.
Nope. Yep.
You know, you didn't know if we were just going to come blow you over. You know, it's a quiet seat. That's another thing too, people. When you go to a little town like that,
Yep.
and like we were there once already. We weren't, you know, we were as familiar as we could be for a brief visit to come back. Enough that our friends trusted us.
Right.
We brought everybody in, but just because it's a charming, nice little town with nice people, you got to treat them with a lot of respect.
Yep.
And like anywhere, you know what I mean? And I don't want to sound, I know there might be some American friends watching here or some people from, you know what I mean? But there's like, I see people from other places around the world, they'll come in and it's like almost like they try to make it their own, right?
They try to take over.
Or
Yeah.
they just try to, yeah. And I like to come in and get in like under the layers a little bit and kind of get to know the people of the town a little better. And it was nice that we met a lot of expats right away.
Yes.
So there was no language barrier.
Right.
And it kind of they kind of explained things to us as
Right.
in real time, not like, you know what I mean? It wasn't a lesson. It was like every day we talked to somebody and
Right.
they were explaining to us what's going on around us. And very, very quickly we felt like we were part of like into it. So by the time we actually met you at the hotel, we were there for a day or two and
Right.
we met your guys and you know, we could see that you guys are all tanned up, you know, you guys live there, you know?
Yep.
And some guys may just spend the winter there, but they're not there for a week. You know, we're there
Right.
for a week. We're all excited, like you said. We're drinking and we're partying and whooping it
Yep.
all up. And you expect that. You even told me ahead of time that you knew that was going to happen.
Right.
And that's great. But we walk in. You're hosting an open mic. This is your weekly gig. You know, I host an open mic. I used to anyway.
Yeah.
And you got people on vacation coming through all the time, and sometimes you get an obnoxiously drunk guy up on stage, and
Yep.
you know you don't want
That's
to
happened.
you don't want to ruin his night because he's on vacation. And you know he's having fun, but he's not taking it as seriously as you do, obviously,
Right.
Because it is a
Right.
gig, and
Yeah.
so we come in and we're a little animated, but you guys welcomed us on the stage, and we just kind of came up, and it just became like this really cool gig.
Yep.
And it wasn't even planned; it was just an open mic, and Gordy had his little drum and.
Yep.
Then the drum went flying, and we got the
Yeah,
video
that's
on
right.
Facebook. Though that's up there on Facebook. That was
Right.
hilarious.
Yep.
And that's when we met your sax player.
Yep.
I never remember his name, but he was
John
playing
Ball.
harmonica.
Yep.
We were doing one of our songs. These guys are really good. I mean, you guys. We go to Halifax, and there's great musicians in Halifax and everywhere in the world there is. But I don't know those guys. They're in Hawaiian shirts and shorts and their
Right.
sandals, and they're up there and they're killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're playing our songs like they don't know these songs, but they're pros, man. They're total
Yep.
pros. I mean, you know, you landed nicely in amongst a bunch of really good musicians down there. It
There's
was a
some
great
really,
open mic. It was great.
Yeah, we had some. There's been some really magical nights. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I
I'm
first
sure
started
there's some
playing
nights,
there,
yeah.
I mean, it was just me, and I'm like, "Hey, thanks, Lee. Thanks, honey." You know, it took a while to kind of get some bite into it. I mean, where I was playing a dance place there at it's called the Blue Iguana now. He hadn't had there was no bar. He kind of made that in.
That used to be a couple of rooms. They just took the walls out and turned it
Yep.
into a lounge and
Yep.
got somebody to paint a mural, and it's beautiful.
And I mean,
Simple.
he's busy there now. I like anybody here, everybody's got hit with COVID, but yeah, I had to stop playing, and I said to him, man, it's just tearing at my soul. That's what I want. That's what I came here to do. Yeah. And he's like, oh, come on. And I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. But,
No, and that's that you have enough class to do that too, right? And you mentioned to me in one of our conversations online, you were saying how you could have gone to work, but it was limited numbers, limited gigs, limited this, that, and the other thing, and
Right.
you kind of stepped aside to let the local musicians, work
absolutely.
first. And,
I sat there.
You're a visitor. You're a visitor. You
Yep.
live there. You own real
I
estate.
still
but
feel
you-
that way. Yep.
And
Yep.
that shows you got a lot of class, and that's why you're
we
probably
have,
welcomed like you are in the community.
We got residency here, but like I said, I want part of doing the jam at the beginning was to get a few guys that were maybe just not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Like a couple of guys that were doing some, like they do the busking and stuff, but they didn't have like a 2-hour set. They didn't have some gear, whatever. And I'm like, you got to have a good guitar. You got to have some strings. You got to look after your stuff. You don't leave it at your mom's, in the front yard. You got to,
No.
take
Well,
care of your equipment. you know.
Yeah, we went to Frank's just to eat one day. Must have been on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But upstairs in the games room, I've never actually stepped foot up there yet. I guess just an open area, common area,
Yeah.
you know, games room or whatever.
I think there's
Yeah.
a pool table still up there.
Yeah, that's what I figure, something like that. And a group came down from upstairs, and they were a church group. They go to
Yeah,
church
a
up there
church.
on Sundays. And I didn't actually. I asked him. He said he had hit a nice ovation. I could tell it was an American ovation, a beautiful, you know, the molded ovation case. And the first thing I thought of was like those guitars. I've had one, probably a half dozen ovations. I got one here now. I still have it. I've had it for 20 years, but they're probably the worst guitar to take in a high humidity place because they all split. The tops just go. And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even want to look at it. I was like, I can only imagine. But it's a high end guitar, right? You know?
Yes.
And so obviously he might just know 3 chords, but you take when you have something. You know, the thing is like. Those guys can play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're true musicians. Maybe they brought them from abroad, the instruments with them. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But
Probably,
the fact of the matter is, like, whether you're at an open mic or you're doing gigs, it doesn't matter if you're doing it in your backyard, if you're in another town or you're on vacation. It's right. You can't. You got to have a certain. You got to be in tune, you know.
Yeah.
And
well, like the one guy, I had to say to him, right? I timed it, right? So I'm like, okay, you ready to play? Yeah. Okay. You know, it's just in my head, tick, 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 tick. And I'm tuning, the harmonica guy's getting a drink, and then he's kind of, what are we doing it in an F, or we do it in a C? I'm like, I don't even know what song we're doing, whatever. Yeah. It took the guy like about 12 minutes to get on stage. And I'm like, and then he had the tune. And I'm like, so I had to say, are you ready?
Well, the thing is, too, I think where I was kind of going with the instruments, the quality of the instruments, that you really, a good quality instrument struggles with the environment down there.
Yep.
Like I can't imagine what $150, maybe a $150 guitar might knock it out of the park. I don't know, but
a buddy of mine, Shield, brought in this weird little. It's called a traveler guitar, acoustic.
Yes.
But the tuning pegs are like in. I don't know if you can see, but they're in here.
Right.
And the neck is just like a cutoff, tiny little thing. Man, did that thing feel? It sounded fantastic. Holy, I was
looking at getting a carbon guitar, a carbon fiber guitar. It was made by Reynolds.
Somebody had one here, and I don't know. I don't know what happened with it.
I bought that little Yamaha instead. I was going to bring it down. I thought, well, it was a lot of money, and I just thought for that kind of money, I want to play it all the time.
Right.
And the concept that you can play it in the Arctic, you can play it underwater. It's indestructible. Yep. But I didn't like the sound of it. I thought, like, for a couple $1,000, I think
the person that bought it, they were doing like a husband and wife trio, duo, and I don't know, it didn't work. I don't know what was wrong with it, but I never had a chance to really absorb what was going on. But they didn't like it.
But it's but let's say heads up for the musicians that go down there. Keep in mind that the humidity's off the charts, and a spruce top instrument really
don't bring your best.
It's going to struggle. Yeah, it's going to struggle. I mean,
bring something you don't have.
Bring a rain song if you have carbon fiber, mahogany. Go with mahogany if you're taking.
No, but I mean, just have your $500 guitar. There's still a decent.
But something that can work with the environment, because it'd be nothing more frustrating than getting down there. Like even Craig, he was only a few days. That guitar didn't. I mean, it's back to normal now, but it didn't last a week. Then it started becoming wonky, right? And he's fussy. Well, so that's the thing. So you got to keep that in mind when you're down.
That's what I did when I moved here, because I'm like, even in my studio, things would adjust. I'd have to readjust my guitar, and then a week later, it's like, what? I got to do it again.
My guitars, I usually take the torque wrench. I get in the spring I go one way, and in the fall I go the other half turn or something.
It's like that every.
But that's easy here. That's we got to. It's for the environment, but we have different environments, but we have central heating. So indoors it's the same temperature all year long, right? So it's relatively good that way. But so okay, I want my next song. I've been waiting for this show for this one. And I'm having a ball talking. We're not playing too many songs, but this is a fantastic, fun night, and I hope people are getting the vibe. So anyway, we stayed at the Blue Iguana, and it was actually when he had changed the name by the time we got there.
Was it okay? But, I couldn't remember when it flipped over.
Yeah, but it was it used to be called the
Samara
Beach Hotel or something like that. Yeah. Whatever it was. It was really quite nice. Anyway, I got a picture of it here. Here with my logo and everything. There we go. Ha ha. There we go.
Yeah.
And just over my left shoulder, behind that tree, was Randy's room. On the bottom floor, it was the only room that had a hammock in it. In front of the room, and he spent most of the week in the hammock. He didn't make it into his room very often.
Right.
And it was a wonderful little hotel, and it was a great time. And Dan was a wonderful guy. And we came home, we wrote a song about it. And actually, while we were there, we had arts and crafts day. We had all these pieces of random pieces of wood that we all painted little slogans and
I
stuff
think I
on.
recall that. I'm not sure if Lee joined that or not. She might have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I made this long stick. There's pictures of it somewhere on Facebook, and I put like we already had tagged 1 foot in the hammock because that's where he was all week, and there was 1 foot hung out of it all week. So we wrote a song.
Yep.
It's called 1 Foot in the Hammock.
All right, I'll mute my mic. Give her.
Sure, brother. Yeah. 1 foot in the hammock, 1 foot in the sand, soaking up the beauty of this wondrous sunny land. Set yourself free. I hear a dozen voices ringing out as one, feeling only magic in the Costa Rican sun. Set yourself free. Makes me want to live in a tree, iguanas as my friends. We will live as yesterday to the end. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba. Bra-ba-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba. Bra-ba-ba-ba. Makes me want to live in a tree, iguanas as my friends, and we will live as yesterday to the end, and live the pura vida life, a soda with the band. We will sing in harmony to the end, to the end. 1 foot in the hammock, 1 foot in the sand, wasting all my time and working on my tan. Set yourself free. Here we go. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba. Bra-ba-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bra-ba-ba-da-ba. Bra-ba-ba-ba. One foot in the hammock.
There you are, buddy.
And that's
yeah.
so yes. So if you go to the Blue Iguana, I forget the number of the room, but if you look right there, right down there at the bottom, over my left shoulder, down there, the one with the ham, my artwork is still on the wall there. So kind of proud of that one.
That's awesome, man.
We also left a rock. See if somebody goes and finds it now. We had this thing called Nova Scotia Rocks.
Right.
And what it is just a group of people that went out and painted rocks all over the province for people to find, and there's little slogans on them and little things like that.
Right.
And hang on, my thing came unplugged here. Anyway, so we brought one down that we brought one down that we found on a beach or something. I think when we brought it down and stuck it under one of the potted plants in the courtyard. So somebody from Nova Scotia or somebody will find that someday. Go, wow, that's pretty cool.
Anyways,
so,
man, yeah. I got another tune. I don't know. Yeah, should I do another original or should I do?
You play whatever you'd like to do, man. You do a cover and I'll do a cover. There you go.
I'll do a cover. All right. This one I just did up because having a whole year off of playing, you would think I'd have a whole bunch of material you have to play cover tunes when you're doing a show because people need to know what you're playing.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And I hadn't done any more cover tunes. Like even the cover tunes, I play the drums, I do the piano. Partially, it's just a learning experience for me. I'm like, what the hell are they doing there? Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
neat.
You know, you learn from it.
You learn the
So-
song. You learn the song.
Yeah, you learn it all. So if somebody's playing it, I'm like, what are you doing there, buddy? But anyways, yeah. So here's something you probably wouldn't expect.
And I'm gonna mute my mic here. Yeah, when I do a song, if you mute the thing down the left hand corner there, the little mute button there, yeah, just gonna mute that now. Okay, brother,
Okay.
here we go.
I'm gonna go with. You might know this, you might not. I gotta mute my. Oh, I didn't go. Sorry. That's a Rihanna tune.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. It's so cool.
I want
know?
you to stay. Oh, sorry. That's a
that was cool.
Rihanna tune. I want you to stay.
I was actually thinking it sounded a bit like Rod Stewart
Oh,
too. Young Hearts.
my earbuds
It's kind of neat. Your interpretation of songs like that. I listened to you doing that, right? I mean, I was there. I mean, I saw you do it, but
right.
you walk down the beach with your, and you stop all the restaurants and the cafes and all the sodas. They're all along the beach, and you can walk down the beach and go from one to another. And at night, it's a sight to behold because you get some fire shows, and all the restaurants have lights, the LED lights, strings of lights everywhere, so it's well lit and it's beautiful. And you hear music like that. You'd be off in the corner doing that with your guitar and then the percussion and all the. I know it's canned music, but it's beautiful. And I'm closing listening to what you just did, and I really did feel what I felt like on that beach in Costa Rica. You just meander along, and it's like the smells of the restaurants permeate, and the sounds of the music does the same thing, right?
Well, it's I've always said that a lot of locations that I've played at in the past, you relied on people to say, "Hey, Brian's playing tonight."
Yeah.
So you got to go,
Yeah, for sure.
Here, people are out. It's comfortable. 6:00 at night, you're wearing a t-shirt and a pair of shorts and your sandals.
And it's dark at the same time every day.
Yeah. In Canada, you'd be like, oh man, I got to put my snow boots on. But you had to make an effort.
Throwing on a sweater or something
You had to make an effort. Here, it's like, well, we're out for dinner. Like those restaurants were full. Like really from December till October. Yeah, the middle of September. Full.
I'm thinking that when this is over, until people figure, and until the big depression happens and we all lose and we all go broke because we're all in debt, to whatever happens. I mean, like there's going to be it's like a boom. There's a building boom. There's probably going to be a travel boom. People are shack wacky.
Yes.
I mean, at any other time before the pandemic, I'm sure like the town of Samara probably triples in population in the tourist season.
Easy.
I mean, easy. And people seem we walked through the town actually between the hotel we were staying at and the town, and it was a good long hour. It was over an hour's worth of a walk because you just can't walk along the beach at high tide because the estuaries kind of the currents and stuff you can't really walk through. But we walked through the little town, and you can tell when we were there in October, like things really hadn't started whipping up yet.
Right.
But you can tell that the town, the people, like we were walking through the town, they could tell we're tourists. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They knew that we had a vague idea where we were going. Just stay parallel to the beach. You're not going to get lost. But we were in a neighborhood like we were in Samara's. We're all the. We're in.
You would have went through a little town called Torito. Yeah.
We were in there, and I mean, there's nothing fancy. People are very happy, very charming, very friendly.
Yes.
One girl, she told us how to get back up to the main road, and we looked totally out of place, but they didn't even raise an eye. It's just really, really laid back.
Yeah.
And that's what that was super cool. But at the town itself, the restaurant, the food, like folks, I mean, you've never tasted food that we have here, like anything like a pineapple doesn't explode in your mouth here.
Oh, the fruit here is I can't even. Yeah.
You don't. You eat you have at home, like you might have a bowl of chili or you have some stew or just the food that you eat here has there's more fat and calories in it, but down south it's in those places the food just explodes in your mouth. It feels great. And you can eat tons of it, and you don't gain weight.
Yes. Well,
it's beautiful.
I wish I could say that because pandemic has definitely shown.
Well,
us,
I mean, there's extraordinary times. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you played a cover tune, and I'm going to sneak one in here because I'm going to play. You've heard the song 1,000 times, and I don't interpret. This is just basically a cover. But the reason why I'm going to do it is just puts me in the mood for what we're this whole thing here. I'm going to turn my reverb down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Haha. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things that come to you, and I wanna feel it too. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. Hip, 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 hip. When you're on a golden sea, you don't need no memory, just a place to call your own. As we drift into the cove, on an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. We'll run away together, we'll spend some time forever, we'll never feel bad anymore. Hip, 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 hip. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. We'll run away together, we'll spend some time forever, we'll never feel bad anymore. Hip, hip. We'll never feel bad anymore. No, no. We'll never feel bad anymore. No, no. No, no. No, no. No, no. That's one of the, when they wrote that song, they were probably trying to think of something to do like our One Foot in the Hammock, but it's like
Right.
it becomes your Jimmy Buffett song, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right on, man.
But I mean, it's the Porta Vida. It is what it is. It's a special place. It was special. It's still special. We can't wait to come back. We have friends for life. I mean, we barely know you, and we feel like we've known you forever. And we were one of the last batches of tourists to leave before the whole thing started.
I would say you were. Yep.
And I'm sure you have tourists there now, but not like you'd normally have. Like you say, you're down 70%. So
No, we had normally now I would say mostly more Europe would be coming over, and I'm not sure.
Are those long-term people that come over every year kind of thing and settle in?
They stick around for a while.
Yeah,
I mean, again, they have like the Spanish school, so I think you're into about a 3-month course there. The massage school, the same
massage
thing.
therapy school is huge.
Yeah. So I mean, people come for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a wonderful spot.
they've been
it's
hit.
great.
I think the massage school still, I don't know if they're at full capacity. I don't know too much,
No,
but
I'm sure they're not.
the
But
Spanish
it'll
has
come
been
back.
hit, the
It'll come
Spanish
back.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we'll come back and we'll reintegrate, I guess is the word. But it's wonderful, and I don't want the town to grow too fast. We found.
We're
I think
hoping
we found-
it. We're hoping people relax.
Because
I
it's
mean,
developing.
yes. I mean, you bring in the internet. That's like usually in a typical infrastructure thing. That's the last thing.
I was explaining the last.
Not
thing.
the first thing.
We asked a lot of questions when we were down there to get to know more about it, and they were saying that it was about when they built the airport in Liberia, which is like because it's a
2
long
hours.
way,
It's 2 hours.
instead of 5, right?
Yeah.
In San Jose.
Yeah.
And they were saying that when the airport came in, it was like 7-8 years ago, whatever it was.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, they're paving all the streets, and then next thing you know, that kind of thing. We were there. They were building that boardwalk when we were there. That cool, funky little boardwalk.
Yep.
And then we
There's
get
2 of
home,
them
and then now they got that sign that's at the corner there, that big Samara thing. So
Samara sign. They've been doing that in all the major towns for sure.
So
Yeah.
it's a wonderful, and folks, there's no military. There's no federales
Right.
walking around with machine guns in the back of
Right.
Jeeps keeping the peace.
Right.
It's, you got like Boss Hogg, with sidearm, probably, with that little office down off the beach where there's like two cops in the daytime and two at night,
Yep.
and everybody seems to get along just fine. So
You know what? It's been, like I said, it's you kind of forget. Like Lee and I, once in a while, we're on the beach, and
and you do.
whatever,
You
we're not
can't-
feeling good or something, and it's just like we're on the beach. It's like February, man. This is our home now.
And sometimes we never gave it a thought, but I'm sure, like, you have to be a wary traveler. I mean, like, you just can't. I mean, there's going to be a pickpocketer or something like that,
Yep.
maybe, or scammers and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
don't
and
leave
obviously
your stuff in
hustlers.
your car.
But you don't get hustled to death on the street. You know
Nope.
what I mean? Nothing like that. I mean, all the guy, like the street meat guy, like, I love that stuff. Just everything about it's just charming. But keep writing music, dude. I mean, come from the moat, we're following you off here. All the gang that you met when we were down there, I said, we all see what everybody's doing down there,
Yep.
and we keep in
Yep.
touch. And
Yep.
we all came home wanting to buy the hotel. We wanted to buy the place up, and realized after the shock of the trip wore off and life
Yes.
kicked back in, that's a big decision, dude, for you to do that.
Yes. And you know what? Somebody running a business here, I kudos to the people that come in. There's a lot going on. There's that's a lot of stress. So if you're coming here to relax, thinking you're buying something, you're not
It's a
relaxing.
lot to think
the
about.
flight.
We leave at 6:00 in the morning, and by the time we get to the hotel, it's way late in the afternoon.
Well,
It
you
is
got to
what it is,
make sure you pencil in 2 weeks. You got to have 2 weeks.
we're working on something, but
Or
it's going to be
more.
my 60th, brother. We're gonna have
Oh,
a birthday
no.
bash, so that's why I'm
Okay,
coming.
so
It's my birthday
maybe-
party.
Maybe I'll let you party for like 4 days and get that out of your system, and then we'll jam.
There you go. We'll work it all out. We did okay last year on not too bad. We held up pretty good, but
Yeah.
anyway, Brian. Listen, Bryce, thanks so much.
Thank
Say
you,
hi,
buddy.
Leigh, for us. I see she's
Will
on
do.
here. I
Yeah.
guess there's a pool day coming up, I guess, again. So, and Gordy can throw his drum again. There you go. Yeah. Excellent.
Perfect, buddy. All right, man.
Have a great evening, my friend.
Cheers.
Nice to see
Cheers,
you.
amigo. Pura vida.
Okay.
Ciao,
Pura
man.
vida.